Hi everyone, I'm FM Greeno. Welcome along to day 18 of Help Will Come Tomorrow, the survival game set in the Siberian wilderness, where our 4 survivors of a train wreck are huddled around a snow-covered fire currently, hiding away from the local renegades who are hot on their trail. Today we have a bunch of different missions that we can look at, where we're going to start trying to pick those renegades off and try and make our life a little bit easier around here. So let's get into the episode and see what we're going to do first. So yesterday we had a fairly eventful episode. We managed to get up and set a decoy fire, which is supposed to lead the renegades away from the camp. But as you can see here at the top of the screen, they are still nearby. We have this icon here now about how many renegades we've killed. None yet, but we do have all these different ways that we're going to go and try and do it. So we have to explore the idea of an ambush by the river, an idea of a stone landslide, preparing rotten tree trunks to attack them with, and there are some crevasses that we're kind of apparently trying to disguise with some moss and hope that they fall into them. So it's all a bit Home Alone, but yeah, I quite like the sound of it. So if we take a look at how that all looks on the map, so this is where the river bit is going to be, and the others are all over this side, and there's a fairly decent path through it here. As long as we don't encounter any of the renegades in this tile, we should be alright to get around and maybe even get a couple of these done in one go today. So before we start that though, we are going to take care of the usual bits and pieces around here. Everybody's a little bit tired today. Not quite sure why. We have the upgraded shelter here, so maybe that's something we can look at upgrading even further. But we are going to try and get some food and water into people, so we've got a little bit left over of this roast. Now, is anybody particularly hungry? Let's see who's the hungriest out of everyone here. So 39 there for Dimitri, 42 for Sir Edward, 46 for young Sergei, and Maria 43. So Maria and Sergei get to eat the delicious roast meat. And what else do we have that the guys can take? Well, there's some berries here. Berries always go down pretty well. I think we had a couple of mushrooms kicking around that we could give out as well before they go bad. Okay, so that's the immediate hunger problem dealt with. Everyone's a little bit thirsty, so we do have plenty of water. So everyone can have a nice drink. Then I think we're going to send our first expedition out to try and deal with some of these tasks that we've got. So, in terms of the expeditions, these two guys seem to be doing them pretty effectively together. So I think we're going to send them out today. Now, what we want them to take with them, I don't know. That's a bit of a problem. There's not really any clues. But as we're not really going looking for resources particularly, we're going to take the bow and arrow, because we might need that to defend ourselves. Not sure how effective it will be against a gun or anything, but we'll take it. We'll take the snowshoes, because that helps us in terms of not getting lost. We'll take maybe the torch as well. Now, should we take anything else? Do we want to take a knife with us? So processing the resources, but that's not really what we're doing. Let's take it anyway. And maybe we'll take the sack just in case we decide we want to pick up some stuff along the way. Okay, so these guys are going to come up into this area here, hopefully not encounter any issues with the renegades. Not really found anything useful there, but we'll grab that. And so let's move into this first area here where we can try and do something. So this is the chasms under the moss. So there must have been an underground arm of a river flowing here, but because of constant freezing and unfreezing, it caused many cracks and fissures in the ground and then changed its course. Now, underneath the peaceful forest, there are treacherous crevices, the depth of which is impossible to determine. During hiking here, more than once somebody's leg broke through the moss, finding no ground underneath, or a wide gap unexpectedly force you to look for a detour. Even if the renegades knows the secrets of this area, the Kunkuji who joined them recently could easily be led into a trap. There is nothing left to do but choose a few hideouts and determine the possible escape route, and then light the decoy bonfire. Oh, so are we supposed to bring more decoys with us? So what are we doing here then? So we need to bring a decoy. Is that right? Is that what we should have done? Maybe. Maybe. Well, let's move on to the next one. Up here, the bark beetles area, and see what it says here. Maybe we'll send more than one expedition out today. It's not apparent at the first glance, but this part of the forest has been heavily damaged by the woodworms. Another time in the year, it would be easy to tell apart the grey trunks of the dead pines from the green forest. But now everything is masked by frost, and no one will notice which trees could be prone to falling down. It can work in your favour. All you have to do is find some suitable places for the traps, fracture some of the rotting trunks, prepare easy to knock down supports, and not get flattened yourselves. You might make it before dark. Okay, so let's devote some time for preparing the ambush. The work was going smoothly, but at some point one of the trees you disturbed gave in to the gravity and fell to the ground, knocking down other branches along the way. Luckily, you've managed to dodge it, but some of the traps were ruined. What was left can hardly be considered a proper ambush. On the other hand, it's dangerous here anyway, so maybe you don't need elaborate traps. So, shall we do this again and properly? Let's try that. Hopefully, we're not going to get into trouble. Finding proper spots, cutting trees and masking the rotten wood really lasts until late at night. You won't make it to the camp now. Oh no, we're stopping out in the woods in the night. Okay. You can light a fire here. It definitely will attract the attention of the renegades, but you'll be able to warm yourselves a bit before the thugs arrive. Okay. So does that mean we can't return to the camp? It does. Or move anywhere else. So they're just stuck there. And we've got this that we need to do here, making a decoy and whatever. I wonder if the guys in camp, who are left in camp, will be able to do that and take it up there now. I don't know. What is this other thing that we need here? Is that like some kind of trap, is it? Can we make that? Or is that something that's already been made? It's not tools, is it? Not in the weapons section. So maybe that's just something you do when you're there with the decoy. So if we go and make a decoy, let's come down here. Let's get Maria. She can use... 10 lots of mould. Okay. I don't mind that. So it's just a big bundle of mould we're taking up there by the looks of it. So if we can do that with these guys today and just test out how this works, I think that'd be pretty cool. So off these two go. Now we're going to send them just with the decoy. There's not really much point in them trying to take anything else. Maybe they can take the rope. You never know, that might come in handy. Okay, so if they come up through here, go straight up to this area. What does that actually achieve? Anything? I don't think it does it? So maybe it's just set then. Okay, well if that's the case, can we get up and do this next one? Maybe. Let's search while we're here. I'm using up action points left, right and centre. Oh, we got some honey here. That's pretty good. And we'll get up to the stone cliff. So the reconnaissance at the stony slope confirms that it's a good place for an ambush. There's a few deep gorges cutting into the rock ridge, There's more than enough boulders and loose gravel on the cliffs. For another snowfall, the rocks will hide in the snowcap and will be hard to move, so you shouldn't waste any time. You choose a place where you could cause a big landslide, determine the safest route of escape, and light a fire to lure the renegades. Okay. So in doing all these things, we're already lighting the fire and setting the traps by the looks of it. So if that's the case, then that means we've pretty much got 3 of these missions kind of taken care of, even if it does mean that the boys are staying out overnight. Okay. So if we head back into the camp then, so we've only got 2 people here in the camp. Oh, what's happened here? We've got a twisted ankle. Okay, so we need to try and make a limb brace. Well, I think we can probably come up here and do that. Is it in the medicines section? A limb brace. So we do have enough material to be able to do that. And he can come up and make it himself. And then I think when we return down here, I can just drag that and put it on him. And he's going to actually recover a little bit with that. So taking away the little injured ankle icon over here. Okay. Right, well we can't light the fire anyway because we have these guys around here. So we're just going to have to sit in the cold. I think we'll send these 2 off for a little rest. They're both a little tired. Now, it's not going to be such an eventful conversation around the fireplace tonight, I don't suppose, because 2 of the boys are stopping out overnight. But, yeah, we'll end the day and see what there is to talk about. Something is lurking in the dark around the camp. You see a pair of eyes that ominously glance in your direction. Slowly moving between the trees. Is this an Amur leopard or maybe a lynx? The beast is certainly smaller than a bear, and a wolf would hardly wander alone. Wonder what this could be then. When you're wondering what steps are best to take in the event of an attack, the animal makes a quiet snore, and then the eyes disappear into the dark. Maybe that's a snort rather than a snore. Maybe in the morning the traces will tell you who the mysterious observer was. Oh, wow, okay. So I wonder what that could have been. Right, so. Sir Edward is not here. What happened? Did he announce that he'd be hunting until late? Oh, he didn't confide in me anyway. I think that something has finally eaten him. Or he went to negotiate with those bandits and overestimated the charm of his moustache. Oh, they're out there trying to help you. So, he most certainly wouldn't leave us. And if he went to negotiate with the bandits, they could have imprisoned him. Maybe, but it's not our concern. Oh, he thought that you could speak to the Russians like natives in wild countries. Such miscalculation, poor man. If anyone was to negotiate with these barbarians, it's him. For this you need the experience of an adventurer and distance. Oh, they're liking him a bit better now, that's good. Well, there is nothing to worry about. Tomorrow, he'll be back as the chief of the renegades, just like in the adventure novel by Fenimore Cooper and Mayne Reid. I don't know what that novel is. We could use some optimism and faith that our story will end positively. By the way, did he take his diary? Maybe we should check if he's not a British spy. Stop it! That's completely ridiculous. The captain is missing. It was to be expected. He set us as bait for the renegades. Maybe something has happened to him. We don't want to say that we're suspicious about people. I don't think so. Dmitri likes to boss everybody about, but he's no cynic. He says what he thinks. If he set us for shooting, he would first indicate where to sit and assign roles. So how do you explain his disappearance? Maybe something has happened to him, or he can't see the camp in a snowstorm and return. Well, I'm not moving from here. If you want to go looking for him, go ahead. But I do not advise it. If good intentions could help us, we would be now drinking hot cocoa in Vladivostok. Okay. Bit of an odd conversation there. They're obviously a bit confused as to why the other guys are missing and drawing some fairly wild conclusions. But luckily, everybody is in fairly good shape. Oh, old Sergei is exhausted by the looks of it, and the guys are freezing from being stuck out in the wilderness. Have they made it back in the morning? Okay, so they have come back. Oh, there's an event here. The day started with heavy wind and a heavy branch broke off from one of the nearby trees. Oh, God. It fell straight onto your shelter. Oh, no, I just made that all pretty and nice. But luckily, no one was inside. The hatch is in a miserable condition. You will have to roll up your sleeves and improve the structure today. So what's happened to that? Oh, it's not too bad. But, yeah, we're starting to get into a few little problems here now by the looks of it. Everybody's getting cold, apart from Maria anyway. The boys are freezing from having been out overnight. They're tired. Exhaustion from young Sergei. So yeah, problems are starting to mount up, and we can't light the fire to keep warm. So yeah, difficult days ahead by the looks of it. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I think yeah, it was an interesting one. I'll be interested to see how the events that we were taking part in actually end up. We haven't seen whether they come to the conclusion yet or not. If you have enjoyed it, please drop a like on there for me. Help me get seen by more people. And if you've got any comments about this episode or the series as a whole, I would love to see them below. And don't forget, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, come and hop on the Greeno bus. There is plenty of room for you all. It just remains for me to thank you for watching, and we will see you soon for day 19 of Help Will Come Tomorrow. Bye for now.